My paintings consist of many layers of transparent colour, which I use to both obscure and reveal the subject of the piece. By building up the layers, I can create a sense of depth and also suggest effects of light, dust and heat. I use hard edges and strong colours to draw the viewer's eye to a particular part of a painting, but generally my work has a very tranquil feel, which I enhance by using a limited palette of colours and also by painting people and animals in relaxed poses, unaware of the viewer. I lived in Botswana and Zimbabwe for several years, and that's where I began painting and sketching. And even today, Africa supplies me with all of my subject matter, and I return regularly to sketch, to visit conservation projects, and also to just refill my own mental library of images. Spending time under the huge skies of the Kalahari and Namib deserts made space an important element in many of my compositions, while many of the dusky scenes and fiery colours I return to again and again are inspired by the dust and heat of the dry season in Africa. Sketching in the bush has taught me to look carefully and work very quickly, because wild animals are completely unpredictable. They never hold a pose, or they walk away, run away, or often even lie under the thickest bush where they can't possibly be seen. But sketching wildlife can sometimes seem simple compared to sketching people. I've often looked up from my sketch to find that everyone, including the people in my sketch, are now standing behind me looking over my shoulder. My use of unusual colours often causes great suspicion amongst children, and many times I've been approached and asked exactly where did I see this blue zebra or that red cheetah. I compose my studio paintings in my mind's eye, usually while I'm out walking my dog, and he never objects to a longer walk if I have an idea I need to think through. Back in the studio I draw up my ideas, and that's when I eliminate unnecessary detail, something that is much easier to do in the studio than when I'm in the African bush. When it comes time to paint, I let the colour flow freely, with drying time between each layer, only adding detail towards the very end, and this allows me to then immerse the person or animal subject within the existing layers of colour. My links with conservation projects have allowed me to see firsthand some of the difficult issues facing both people and wildlife in Africa today, and this prompted me to create a body of conservation-themed work. It's a real challenge to depict some of these issues in a painting, but doing so allows me to combine my art with my deep interest in African conservation. Maize shows a pastoralist with his cattle, surrounded by maize, but much of it dead, dying or eaten by animals. The painting illustrates how pastoralism, a way of life that supports millions of people across Africa, is increasingly under threat as more rangeland is converted to often unproductive farmland. On the Edge is based on field research conducted in Zimbabwe and explores why African wild dogs are exposing themselves to frequent fatal encounters with people by actively choosing to live outside the relative safety of Hwange National Park. As an artist, I see potential paintings everywhere I go. You could say it's a wonderful occupational hazard. But given the diversity of peoples, cultures and wildlife on the African continent, I can safely say that my art will continue to be inspired by Africa.